While you were still playing WoW, what made you think, I'm going to try OSRS? Savix and Guzu and Shobek were what made me try OSRS. And it wasn't the fact that they were playing OSRS. I looked over and I kind of scoffed at it. I was like, these guys will be back. And then Guzu 1 month later, still playing. Savix 2 weeks later, still playing. Shobek 1 week later, still playing. And I'm like, maybe there's something going on over there. So I was like, fine, I'll try it, but I'm going to hate it. Here I am. Everyone scoffs at RuneScape until they play it. I feel like the RuneScape community does that to WoW too. I feel like a lot of you guys scoff at World of Warcraft, but you haven't really given it a try. And I used to be that way too. And it's understandable. What happened to Savix? WoW called him back. Dude, Savix, it has a World of Warcraft community, a World of Warcraft following. So anytime Savix spins not playing WoW is like, it's not his, like WoW is his home. He built his whole career off of playing WoW. For me, I did the same, but it was only 2 years. I streamed WoW for 2 years. I've been a streamer for 2.5 years now. So it's not the same. Like when I go back to WoW, I'll have less viewership than I have here because my come up or my rise was on OSRS, not WoW. I had a much smaller viewership base there. So when I go back to WoW, it's like there's a small number of people who are happy to see me come back. When they go back to WoW, they have the majority of their community being happy to see them go back to WoW. So that's why eventually they'll always go back to WoW, because I don't know if they'll ever have more viewership or more success playing another game. Whereas for me, it was the opposite. I didn't have that much success playing WoW. I had a lot of success playing RuneScape, which was completely different for me. I've been watching the YouTube videos with my wife and son since you started OSRS. Keep it the great content. Ignore the backseaters. Do your thing. Yo, dadgum. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that, man. When would you recommend an OSRS player to give WoW a try? Honestly, right now is the best time you could ever play WoW. You can level a little bit quicker than normal, maybe like 20% faster. And then you can go right into TBC. And there's really not much going on in RuneScape until the next leagues, unless you're a PvPer. We have Deadman, which is pretty much PvP for the next 2 months. We have the best expansion ever coming out in World of Warcraft right now. TBC comes out in 10 days. There is never a better time, in my opinion, to play World of Warcraft than right now. And then on top of that, the next best time, like RuneScape's about to have a banger year. We're about to have leagues coming up soon. At the end of the year, we'll have Raids 4, and we're getting Cow Boss in like 2 weeks, I think, which would be really fun. And then until those things happen, we also have Deadman in 4 days, we have Deadman. So RuneScape has a lot going on. We'll have that right into TBC. We'll have Only Fangs Hardcore, which will follow us right into BlizzCon, which will announce Classic Plus. And then for the rest of the year, I don't know if we're getting Classic Plus right away, but there'll be multiple different rollouts of TBC, like new raids to do. And then we'll have another raid for at the end of the year. Hopefully we'll be playing Classic Plus by then. And yeah, like I said, it'll be kind of a back and forth thing. The WoW players, we have Blood Moon Rises coming out, which will be sick. So between WoW and OSRS, there's a lot of different content, a lot of crossover coming out rest of the year. I think right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to play WoW 1 day a week, and it's going to be on my day off. So I'm still going to do 5 days of RuneScape a week with 1 day of WoW per week, with the exception of I might do 2 days of WoW next week when on the expansion launch day. I might play TBC at launch. I might not, because actually playing WoW on launch sucks ass. I'm going to be honest with you guys. Playing WoW on an expansion launch is always the worst experience. It's thousands and thousands of people trying to flood in and get a head start for no damn reason. Because you're going to get there and get to the end game and just be by yourself. And you can't play the game by yourself. So, and you're like sailing release. It's literally like sailing release. Yeah. That's kind of like what it is. It's like unstable servers, crashing, queue times. I'm honestly not even hyped to play WoW on Thursday. I really don't care. And the only people I really care about playing TBC with is my friends. I'm not playing TBC necessarily for TBC. I'm playing to play with Czar and Savix and Ozzy, my homies. So and Ompi and a lot of other guys that are other streamers that are my friends. Moose might play, Triumphant might play. Like we'll see. Like if I'm not playing with my friends, I really don't care too much to play TBC again. Can you watch her new Rendy vid? Rendy has a new vid. Soda Poppin' I won't be able to play with. S-Fan I won't be able to play with. Peekaboo maybe we'll play Peekaboo, but probably not. They're on different servers. I can't play with Guzu or Jokered. Otherwise, I'd love to play with them. The thing about WoW, guys, is like it's sad because there's so many cool people that you want to play with in the WoW section. And this is what's weird about WoW. You have a lot of other people, like a lot of other streamers that you want to link up with or collab with or raid with or do things with, but you can't because they're playing a different faction. They're on EU servers, or instead of US, they're playing a different version of WoW. There's like 20 different versions of WoW, and then there's different servers, and then there's different factions. And WoW has a way of just dividing the player base. WoW it's all division. It's all divided. Whereas RuneScape, you can play with anybody you want to. I could play with Oda. I could play with Foe. I could play with an Australian. I could play with Ivy. You know, it's not divided. If we want to play together, we just play together. It's so sad when I look over there. I'm like, damn, I don't know when the next time I'm going to play with Jokered is. Even if I go play WoW, I can't play with Jokered. You know? And that makes me sad. It's just the way that the way that the game design is set up. Are you planning to play WoW midnight? Probably not. The vertical game design hamster wheel. I don't know. Every now and then playing retail WoW for a little bit is fun. Just see how far we can get in a pug. But I'm telling you, it's only fun if I'm playing like with Zaryu and Savix. It's really only fun if I'm playing with my friends. I also really enjoyed playing with the OnlyFangs. So OnlyFangs made a spin-off guild in retail. And if it wasn't for the friends I was playing with, I would not have been enjoying it. But seeing the same people every week, making jokes about Geronimo, parsing a 1, those type of things were really fun. Is that why you enjoy OSRS? You can play by yourself and have fun? No, OSRS, you kind of, there are some things I enjoy challenging myself and pushing by myself, but for the most part, I enjoy the raids on Friday, which is why I host the raids every Friday, because I want to bring everybody together and play with other people, see their progress, see if they're getting better at the game, you know, see if one of us spoons items. Those are things that I really enjoy about the game. But I love that there's also solo challenges, and WoW doesn't have that. WoW has no solo challenges. You're completely reliant on other people always to do anything. So at minimum, you need 4 other people to do any content in WoW. And man, guys, I did some raids yesterday after the stream, like just some pug raids, and they were so bad. I ended up raid leading both pugs that I joined because they didn't have a raid leader. And one of the Molten Cores that I joined, they didn't even get douses. We couldn't even finish it because they didn't even check to see if they didn't recruit anyone that got douses. I was kind of like baffled at how bad some of the pugs were. It was a cool experience to go back to that and realize like, and just game with people who really just don't give a damn. They're just there to hit boss and see what drops. They don't care much about other than that. It was cool to game with some of those guys. But the second raid I went into, we got into a BWL, and the guy sends out the Discord, like the leader of the raid. He forms the raid. He sends out the Discord to everybody. We all join up. The leader of the raid, who invited everyone to the Discord, doesn't have a mic or headphones. He can't talk or hear anyone. I'm like, is this real? I'm like, bruh, why'd you get everybody in the Discord if you ain't gonna talk? I was like, do you want me to raid lead? And I had to type to him. And do you want me to do the voice comms for BWL? And he's like, yeah, can you? And he passed me assist. and I led the BWL. And we had the worst comp, no world buffs, tanks that were getting one shot, like tanks that didn't have defense cap or anything. It was awful, but we killed 3 bosses. Which is a lot to say. That group would have killed 1 boss if we didn't have some type of thing going on. Okay, it was rough. And that reminded me why I always formed my own raids, because the pugs are just the average pug is actually so bad that they're not even capable of clearing most of the bosses. It's kind of crazy. In WoW, it reminded me of WoW of like, wow, if these guys tried to do some accomplishments in OSRS, they would definitely get humbled. WoW is such an easy game. It's such an easy casual game where you can kind of just like join a pug and still get kills on bosses. But RuneScape has some bosses that are actually challenging, which is cool. I like how WoW players with no XP will require 2.5 IO score for a 10 plus. That's some retail talk right there. No one's probably going to understand that code language, but I know what you're saying.